Okay, we are ready to go here. So first of all, thank you guys for all of you for being on, but especially for Christy. I was so excited tonight. She actually said something. Christy said something to me earlier that I'm kind of laughed about, but I think is so true. She said, because I said I'm so excited to have another voice. Somebody else sharing with our team. And she said, I know it's like when I talk to my team, they think I'm like Charlie Brown's teacher, wah, 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 wah. So that's great. So that's why you need to talk to my team. A new voice and another, just another opinion on things, another outlook on things. So I am going to introduce her here and first I'm just going to let her share her story with all of you. And whatever she wants to share, then we're going to do kind of a little question answer. And then, like I said, I really want you guys to think about, anything that you want to ask her. That's why she is here. So, Christy and I don't know when we met, honestly. Whenever she is on Team Shining Star. So, she's with our Team Shining Star. So kind of with Matra's whole group and all that. So that's how we met. But Christy is a new national marketing director. And so, really I got to know her a lot better at the 39 Club retreat just in Phoenix that we went to. And it was so awesome to be able to spend that time with her and with other leaders and other new national marketing directors. And, I'm going to let her share most of her story. But, what I know about her is she is an awesome leader. She is the sweetest, most genuine person ever. She's probably going to tell you how many times she's moved, because I don't even know how many times she's moved through her, while she was trying to hit national marketing director. And so she's obviously, she knows how to build teams. She's probably got team all over the country. So I'm just going to let her start with sharing. Go ahead and just start with sharing your story, Christy. And again, thank you so much for being here. And then we'll take it from there.
All right. Thank you, Allie. Hi, everybody. I love seeing your faces on here. I feel like I'm on like my own episode of the Brady Bunch. I just love this platform. I will talk about later how Zoom really changed things for my business. So to all the new people in this business, welcome. You have no idea what's ahead of you, but it's going to be amazing. So I always tell people my journey through Juice Plus, whether it's through the product or the business, can be summarized in one word, and that's stubbornness. So if that's you on here, you still can make it to the top, even if you're stubborn. My journey first started out when I said no to a doctor who shared Juice Plus with me. In fact, he didn't just share it with me, he paid me to actually come to his event to listen. That's how bad I needed Juice Plus. I was eating McDonald's every single day, if not twice a day, and I was the nanny for his children. He and his wife were just these amazingly healthy, awesome parents, and I think they were really worried that their kids were going to follow suit with me, so they got me to a Juice Plus event. And when I heard about Juice Plus, I don't think it was my timing. I wasn't ready, but I did start to remember that Juice Plus, or that fruits and vegetables were important. Juice Plus seemed like witch magic to me at the time, so I didn't buy into it. And that was my first, looking back, that was my first learning experience as a distributor, because my goal now, knowing that it didn't make sense to me, is that I didn't ask the tough questions. So I always try to encourage people, ask me the tough questions. I don't care if you want this or not, but I need to make sure that this isn't a vitamin, and I need to make sure you know that this isn't juice. So it's about asking those tough questions. That was my first learning experience looking back. So luckily though, during this time, my husband was deployed. He's in the military, and a nurse friend contacted him, and she was like, you guys don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. I know you're under a lot of stress, hello, oxidative stress. She's like, get your credit card out and just buy this stuff. So he totally bought it. He didn't question anything. He just thought, Heather's a nurse and great, I'll order it from her. So neither of us were really totally educated on what Juice Plus was. So even though my first order came from Iraq and I took it to prove my husband that it wouldn't work, and it did, we did end up canceling our order because we kept getting auto shipments. No one told us they were coming. So strike two, there's another learning experience. Let your customers know that their shipment is coming out. So a few years later, after canceling Juice Plus, I read a book called The China Study, and it was all about becoming vegan. But I don't think that's the most important thing you should get from the book. It's about the importance of why we need to eat so many different fruits and vegetables. And I realized after I adapted this plant-based diet that we need 9 to 14 servings of fruits and vegetables. And it was difficult to achieve. Even if I was getting that amount, it was like the same fruits and vegetables every single day. So I called Dr. Dave and Monica and I said, I want to get back on those vitamins. And they schooled me so good that I knew that after learning what it really was, is that we were going to be on it the rest of our lives. So what does everybody do? They pay the $50 to offset the cost of their product, but they're never going to work the business, right? Well, at the time I had invested $50,000 into a film business. I was the sole owner. I had to do everything. It owned me. But I wasn't working for anybody else. But again, I learned the hard way. On my 1-year anniversary, I filmed someone else's wedding. And that sucked, especially because my husband was actually home on US soil. But it takes me a while to have a few of those sucky moments happen. And then I got the call that no one ever wants to get. And my dad was dying because of reasons that could have been prevented. So here I am, 30 years old, standing at the foot of my dad's bed and watching him slip away. So really what it took was my father dying to realize that my mission was to inspire healthy living around the world. My mission was to be the messenger to let people know that Juice Plus at least exists. I'm not here to try and get everybody vegan, but people need to know Juice Plus is where it's at. It's that one simple change that can change the entire journey for someone's health. So I closed my film business as soon as I possibly could, and I brought in as many military spouses into the business as I could, because military spouses, everyone needs this business, but my niche was military spouses because they're sacrificing their careers all the time. Like Ali said, we've moved a lot. We're about to move again. This will be our 9th move in 8 years. They're always putting their family first. They're letting their health go aside. So this is something that can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But I didn't have any clue what to do. I didn't ask my upline for help. I just kind of dove in without a plan. And I got stuck at sales coordinator, which felt like forever. I couldn't get to senior sales coordinator to save my life because I didn't know what to do and I didn't ask. So here's some perks though as a military spouse. Even though you move so much, it's so hard to make a team duplicatable. You end up making so many mistakes that finally you kind of figure out the right way. We get to meet a lot of people in a very short amount of time, and you get to hear so many needs. Once I figured out the verbiage and how to actually talk to people and hear what their health goals and concerns were, it started to actually happen. This business started working. So if I can move that many times and still make it to the top position in the company, making a million mistakes, anyone can do this, but you have to want to. So I think it's about creating your story. If you don't feel good about your story, you're probably not going to feel confident in sharing this, and you have to have that belief. Even if you believe in the science and understand that, you still want to have something that speaks to your soul. So dig deep and figure out what your story is. In September 2014, my team finally embraced the T30 program, and all of a sudden we had these brand new Juice Plus stories that we could share with people. And our customers' health improved at a rapid pace. And now with the 10-day shred, it's even happening faster. So what took 4 years to finally get to senior sales coordinator, exactly 1 year later, my team helped me achieve national marketing director. And I'm so glad that I made the mistakes that I did, because I'm able to be a better leader for my team. Now, I encourage you to continue to follow the system, but embrace those mistakes that you do make along the way. It's not always about how all the success you had making it to the top position. It's about what stopped you and how did you learn from it, and how did you make sure that your team didn't make that same mistake too. So what has this business given me? My husband is the first one to tell you that even though he's a leader in the United States Army, I mean, he's done some really badass things. He always says that Juice Plus, this business has given me a skill set for leadership that he's never even gotten in the military. He's using things that he's learned from my Juice Plus business into his career. And he's helping that take on now because he is getting out of the military in the next 2 weeks. So it's really interesting to see the things that you are going to develop along the way, and who you are now is not going to be who the person you are later. It's really cool to see yourself grow, but it's amazing to see your team members grow. This job has given me the ability to be there when I couldn't be there with my film business. And I'm talking like good times and really bad times, because as military spouses, when your husband or your wife is about to deploy for a year at a time or just a couple months, you actually have to plan their funeral just in case. And my friend Katie lost her husband 3 weeks after they got married and 2 days after they put their dog down. And I knew I just had to be there with her. I didn't have to call Juice Plus and say, hey, I'm taking 30 days off to be with my best friend. I just got to do it. I got to help her through those times where she needed it most. I got to just sit next to her when there was nothing to say, but she just needed somebody to be there. And that's what this business allowed me to do. So ask the difficult questions all the time. School yourself on this business, how it actually works, and please listen to your upline. She's amazing. She knows what to do. Because back when I paid the $50 distributor fee, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So if my future self could tell my past self some things, I would have been an NMD a lot sooner. That's my story. Do you guys have any questions?
Yes. First of all, amazing. Seriously, so amazing. Everything that you've been through, everything that you've done. And I agree totally that if, it's the personal growth that you go through, the leadership skills that you develop, the people that you're able to help, to help watch, I think, those are all some that as a new rep, you can't understand until you just dive in and start going for it. And there are a lot of pretty new reps on here, so just trust us that it's an awesome journey. I do have a few questions, a little more maybe specific to business wise. How, what exactly? I know you have team probably all over the country. How do you support them? Because there are a lot of people here who maybe their direct upline is not close to them, or maybe even not active. And so how do you all bring it together?
Well, I think having this platform, Zoom, is so much easier. I think the sooner you can bring your new team members into this to be able to look at these faces and develop a community. I mean, it sounds weird, but developing a community on Zoom, getting to know one another face to face as close as it can be. I think you don't realize what that relationship is until all of a sudden all your team meets each other at conference and they already know one another. Like that just seals the deal. So having Zoom is great, and having Voxer to check in with them every single day. Now, ideally, this is your business. You paid the $50. This is your storefront. You do with it what you want. But ideally, you should be checking in with your upline. Your upline should not be the one that's always checking in on you. But sometimes we're going to start that way. If you're silent, we want to make sure that we're fixing those problems. I feel like once my team is silent, I know they're in their head, and it's up to me to check in because, it just helps them get out of there faster. So I always tell my team, like, when you are feeling down, you've got to let me know right away, because chances are I'm going to say, I know exactly what you feel. I've been there. But you also be able to have those successes. And it's not about being on the phone for 30 minutes. It's just sending a quick Voxer saying, these are my plans today. And even if you don't, say you want to message 10 people, even if you don't message them, just be real and say, life happened and I'm going to make up the next day. So you have accountability, because this is your business. And if you've never owned a business before, holding yourself accountable is very difficult. So Voxer and Zoom are my two biggest platforms. Even if they're people that live in my area, sometimes we're 40 minutes away from each other. I don't want to just drive there. And, if we have a short amount of time, I'd rather take advantage of the time that we do have and just connect as quickly as possible. So I think that has been really helpful.
That is awesome. And I love that. I love, we need to do, I do check in with everybody often. And I think you need to be checking in with your upline. I think, AJ, you have something to say about that. You took yourself off.
Sorry, it wasn't specific about that, but I did have a question for Christy, but I do like the checking in. That's fantastic. That's a great idea. Christy, okay, so having so much team around the country, what kind of events are you doing or encouraging if you're not able to, obviously you can't be everywhere. Allie tries to do that, but
I mean, cloning would be great, right? Duplicatable. So, I mean, we think about what events would you want to come to? Like, what would pique your interest? So, if you guys know who Dave Sanderson is, I really loved how he started to organize his prospects in categories. Like, who are his hippie granola friends? Who are the ones who are sick all the time? And, he would message them, like on Mondays, it would be his granola friends. And, on Tuesdays. So you're having that same conversation over and over again and probably using the same tools. But we decided, well, we all kind of have friends kind of in the same categories. Let's create events on Zoom that are catered to them. So a lot of my team have kids, or, our prospects are new moms and stuff like that. And you always get the question, are your vitamins safe for this? So we said, let's record this event, and we call them ladies and babies, or baby mama stories. So obviously, who we're catering to in that. We've done one called Fueling the Elite. Anyone who's an athlete, anyone who wants to take their fitness up to the next level. Because we're all military, we have one, Amy Meyer and I have done one called Above His Pay Grade with 2 other military spouses in different teams. And that's basically to say we want to be able to retire husbands out of the military. And I finally get to say that that's happening. Because of the 10-day shred, we call them shredder stories. And we have 4 very different stories where each shredder tells their story and what it did for them. So more than likely, someone's story is going to resonate with your prospect. But also being able to tie in events that are local, those are going to be the most important ones. Like so one of our most successful events we did, we had everyone show up because we cooked our food in a dishwasher, and nobody's ever done that before. So all of a sudden we assigned people to bring a certain ingredient. They didn't know how we were going to cook it or whatever, but they didn't want to miss that moment. So everybody came. It was like 100% showed up. And in fact, some people brought friends, because who cooks a food in a dishwasher? So during the time that it was cooking, we were able to talk about Transform 30. And then we all had dinner after that. So I know, like, one of my team members just did beer and barbecue. So all the husbands got together and shared their stories. Husbands are going to listen to other husbands over wives most of the time. I have a lot of people who are interested in yoga. So we've done pints and poses. You do a little yoga, you do a little bit of beer after, have some shakes, and share your stories. It's most important to have your story. Like, the facts are going to come later, but you want to dangle that carrot and let them know what it did for you. Because once you tell them what it did for you, they want to know what's it going to do for them.
That's awesome. So I do have a question. So you're doing a lot of those on Zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for potential customers?
Yeah.
You're
almost everything is done on Zoom. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't get people to download it. You're just making it up. They're going to. And if they can't download Zoom, or they're afraid to show their face, then tell them just to turn their video off. But at least they can be in the room and see the visuals or see the faces. And if that scares the living out of them, just have them dial the phone number. Everyone can pick up a phone and listen into something.
Sure.
And then it shows them how easy it is to do this business.
Yeah. So like the 10-day shred, you said you had 4 different people share their story. Then do you go into...
Yeah. So what I did is I opened it up and kind of went through like what 10 days can do for your body, and then how it's a 4-month process. and you choose how balls to the wall you want to make it after those 10 days. And we just kind of talked about, the stories. Like I had built 3 pounds of muscle mass in less than 30 days, and I lost 2 pounds of fat. So you can show that you can build, add weight to your body, not just lose it. We had a guy who had finished a marathon, and he just wasn't sore, and his recovery was awesome. His time was awesome. We have a mom who's pregnant, who she calls it her 10-day cherish instead of the 10-day shred. And then we have a soldier who's had 5 surgeries in 4 years, one where she had to relearn how to walk again. She's just seen so much. And, she talks about how she gained 10 pounds with at least 10 pounds with every single surgery. And she's tried everything, including hiring a personal trainer, and nothing worked for her except for embracing the 10-day shred. So 4 very different stories.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. And anybody can ask any questions here, along the way if you have them. I would ask you, can you give us, and I know you've kind of said, obviously learn from your own mistakes, embrace your own mistakes, those types of things. But if you could give us 2 or 3 things really that helped you, that's like, this is what it took for me to get here.
Okay. Yes. I think it's understanding how this business works. I always say I wish when I joined this business, someone handed me the book, Go for No. Because go for no really means what it says, go for no. Like, your mission is to get people to say no to you, because you have to thicken your skin. You have to feel what that feels like, so that when a new team member has other people say no to them, you can get them through it. Because I think most of the time when people stop doing this business, it's because they get all excited about this business. They pay their $50 and they think they're going to make millions right off the bat, or that one Facebook post is going to make it all work. And then they realize that this is actually hard. If you tell them right away that this is going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it, I think that that's helpful. So that book kind of sets you into expectations. And then realizing how to go through the motions and make yourself duplicatable would be reading Go Pro. I think that is huge, because it's just, those 7 steps, and learning verbiage, learning how to properly talk to people, and honestly, shutting up. Like, when you feel like you're getting excited and you're talking too much and talking too fast, just shut up and make them ask you questions, and listen, truly listen to them. And the moment you think that it's time to talk about Juice Plus, maybe wait one more time, like a couple more sentences, and then just be like, I heard you. Like, retell them what you heard them say, because people don't feel heard. Like, feel their pain, tell them that you understand it, and that maybe you have something for them, and leave it at that. Make them wonder a little bit, like, I don't remember who said it, but it was great. It was like some 18-year-old NMD. They're like, don't sleep with them all in one night. And I was like, yeah, just give them the goods all at once. So definitely school yourself on how this business operates. And Allie, I don't know how you feel about this or not, but if I would have known exactly what it took to get to National Marketing Director, I think I would have gone for it. Because when I first did this, I never thought I was going to, to do it. And knowing now what it is, it's certainly not easy, but knowing what to do and to backtrack all the way, I just think that would have been better. I think it would have been really, really helpful.
I agree completely. And, when I first started, I hit sales coordinator pretty fast, and then I was a sales coordinator for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I was not necessarily trying to hit National Marketing Director, because I just thought that was like way up there. Yeah. I didn't realize, yes, it's work, but it's very attainable too. And until I actually took a look at, what do you need to become a National Marketing Director? Oh, all I need is 5 sales coordinators. Well, I'm a sales coordinator. That was pretty easy. So really, I have 5 friends that can do that. Yeah. And I agree 100% that if you lay it out and look at what it is, and then you look at what you're going to get when you get to National Marketing Director, then it's hard to not go for it.
Yeah.
To not see that up there.
Yep. Yeah, I remember my first conference. I went all by myself. I was like a brand new VF. I probably wasn't even qualified yet. And I remember people kept saying like the average time to NMD was 5 years. And I was like, well, if it happens, great. You know, I hadn't like drank the Kool-Aid yet or anything. And I mean, here it is exactly 5 years later. And I think, gosh, if I would have known, I could have been here a lot sooner. And I probably would have team who were NMDs now. So I kick myself. Like, they deserve to be up here too.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and I'm the same way, actually. I went to my first conference probably 2 months after I became a distributor, and I had just done my VF all alone. You know, I knew Joy. I'd never met her in person. I had never met a soul. So I went definitely it was to Orlando all alone, not knowing what I was getting into or anything. And you know, it was awesome. And so, you know, and to that, I'm going to ask you if you would share, you know, the importance, because for us, our conference, the next conference, obviously, you know, is in St. Louis, and that's as close as it's going to get for us. So, and, you know, so if you would share a little bit, I mean, what's your feel? Why is it so important to get there? And why should we as a team show up in St. Louis?
I don't even know how to list the reasons why not to. Like, first of all, I've never been to a Juice Plus event, no matter where it was, even if it was in someone's home where I was like, man, that was a waste of time. Like, that's never a waste of time. But you're doing yourself a disservice of not going to conference because you don't know yet the potential. You don't know the relationships that you're going to get with other people who they're not even associated with your success, but they still want to help you succeed. That team camaraderie, like conferences has some of the best memories I'll ever have with my team. And yeah, the things you learn are awesome, but sometimes it's after that at dinner where you kind of get this deeper idea of why your team really needs this. And, you know, it's just, someone described it as like, describing conference is like describing chocolate without ever having it. You just have to do it. Like, you just have to. And Allie's right. Like, it's not going to get any closer. Like, they cover the coast. Like, they're just not going to go there, unfortunately, because I think Kansas City is awesome. But yeah, how do you describe it? How do you describe chocolate without ever tasting it?
Can't. You just have to do it.
Yep.
Have to do it.
The energy is amazing. I thought they were going to be all crazy Kool-Aid drinking weirdos, and they are drinking the Kool-Aid, but they're awesome.
So we have a lot of new people on here. Can you give them, like, if there's somebody who's brand new that, you know, doesn't even understand some of these things we're talking about, but if they want to if they've decided they're going to start, they want to do this, you know, they're trying for their 2,000 plus right now, what do you tell them?
Don't wait to the last minute of your deadline. Most people wait to the last 10 days of those 60 days, and that burns you out completely, and then you stop. And that is the silliest thing to do in this business, is to stop once you get ahead. You know, getting to sales coordinator is a pivotal moment in your business. And the longer you wait to get to it, it's almost like your team's going to do what you do. If you take a big break, they're going to take a break. Even if they don't even know that you're taking a break. Even if you pretend that you're working, somehow they know. So just get to sales coordinator and help other people do it. Like, don't stop. The hardest part is the beginning, honestly. And you gotta embrace the suck. You're still figuring things out. It's like I always describe, it's like learning how to be a bar back, or like, you know, you're starting a new job. You've got to shadow somebody. Well, shadow your team and your upline and watch what this whole team is doing. But get out there and just talk to people and message them. And just like I said, go for no, because those are not yets. They're not really truly no's, and they just don't know yet. They're probably waiting to see if you're going to stick to it. So prove to them that you're going to stick to it, and just go all in, because it's worth it. Like, getting outside your comfort zone is where you're going to grow. And it's so scary, but once you do it a few times, it just becomes normal. And if you think about, if you close your mouth and don't say anything, how many families are missing out on this? Like, I look at this and I think, because I lost my dad, everyone needs to know about it. I'm just the messenger. I don't care if you say yes or no to me right now, but at some point you might say yes. And a lot of my team said no to me at first, but now they're building and they're sharing, and it's the most gratifying thing you can be a part of.
Yeah, I agree. And every national marketing director will tell you the only difference between me and you is I've heard no thousands more times than you have.
Yeah.
And you just keep going, because and that's exactly like Christie said. It doesn't mean no. It means not right now. And for all of you who are brand new, it is going to be a lot of, somebody wants to make sure you're not just getting into something, this fad that's going on or whatever, that they want to see that it's something that you believe in. So the stronger you believe, the longer you're developing, people are seeing that you're going to stick with this, and now they actually believe you're serious. But, so you having your own story, like Christie said, and sharing it, and, showing how much you believe in it, I think is really huge. Who else has questions for Christie?
I'll ask a question.
Yes.
I'll jump in.
I wanted you two to meet anyway, Christie. I've been telling her, so you can go ahead and talk, Allie, but I wanted you to connect.
I'm Alex. I'm a military spouse. Yay! So, I want to hear just like personally, like what you guys are planning to do once he gets out, because that's exciting. Yeah. We have like a little over a year left, but we're planning to get out.
Good.
We're in the Army right now. And then I thought you might have good tips. So my friends are like mid-20s, and a lot of them are like healthy, stubborn military spouses that don't think they need Juice Plus, or they think that like they try basically pretty good, or they don't eat a lot of fast food. And I feel like that's kind of my story too, is there was nothing like huge. It was more preventative, reducing oxidative stress. I work out a lot, things like that, instead of like a huge noticeable thing. It's more like, I know I like the science behind it. I know what this does for my body, even if I can't see what's going on inside. But it's hard to convince people who say, like, claim healthiness of that. And so kind of like, how do you approach people like that, especially military people?
Oh,
so that,
yeah, and they're typically married to some type of product that they're already taking from GNC or something like that. So,
right.
So you have your work cut out with you. But I usually do the feel, felt, found method that you can find in the GoPro book. Is I know how you feel. I felt the exact same way when I felt like I was doing the best I could. But then I realized that there's no such thing as eating too many fruits and vegetables. And the bottom line is we don't know what we don't know. Like I always say, I don't know what putting this in my sports bra does every single day I go to the gym. Right? Yeah. That's reducing the oxidative stress. Like I just don't know. And yeah, I pull the dead dad card because I'm not about to let somebody be like, oh, well, I eat what's good enough. And I'm like, well, really? Because, I lost my dad too soon. So I'm on a mission to make sure that everyone thinks they're doing good enough. And there's just no such thing. So sometimes I have to get a little bit real with them. Not like you have to eat Juice Plus, but I want to get them to think. And if they're an athlete, sometimes it's just like what works for them. Like if I had something that would help you recover faster from workouts, would you be interested in learning more? Yeah. Of course they're going to say yes. Then it's just saying, great, I'm going to send you a video. Will you watch it? Mm-hmm. Because even though you may know more than they do, they still want to be the expert. So just let them watch a video and let them tell you that they knew all that stuff already and say, great, so Juice Plus must sound like it fits for you then, right? Yeah. So just find what works for them. If there's something, every time we think of someone to add to our memory jogger, we always have a reason to why we want to add them. So if I had something that would, maybe cut the sugar cravings, would you be interested in learning more?
Cool. That helps. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. But they are stubborn. I know that. But once they figure it out, they're like the biggest fans ever.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So where are you stationed at?
Fort Riley, Kansas.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
We like it here.
Yeah, it's great there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if we have a team
Pittsburgh,
there.
but
That's awesome. So who else? Anybody else have questions for Christie while we've got her here?
Courtney?
Yeah.
So I've been like trying to share with a lot of people, and I feel like they kind of listen, they're kind of interested, but then they're like, yeah, but I don't really need that. But I mean, so at that point, do you just kind of back off and like let them kind of think about it and like hit them every now and then, or do you keep like trying to text them every week? I mean, like connect with them every week, or like what's the best method there, I guess?
This is a good question, and it's sometimes tricky. How long have you been in the business for, Courtney?
Just like a month and a half.
Okay. So I would get them to talk to Allie. I think she's pretty tough to say no to. Three-way calls are amazing. It's really intimidating at first, but I promise you she's not going to, like, if you haven't used it yet, she's not going to high pressure them. But I don't know who said it, but they say one person will lie to you, two people won't. And you can say, this is perfect. You know what? I'm new at this. I'm still trying to figure it out. All I'm asking is that you get on the phone with Allie and just tell her, you know, where your health goals and concerns are, and she's going to answer the questions you need to see if this is the right fit for you. Because you're just there, like, your most important thing is to make sure you provide all the information for them to know if this is the right fit. And you can say, Juice Plus is such a hard thing for people to understand. I mean, not everyone gets fruits and vegetables in a capsule, but it would really help for you to be a fly on the wall and hear the questions that they have for Allie, because you're still learning. Cool?
Okay, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, that is perfect. Who else? Anybody else have questions? Kelly, do you have a question? I can see you talking, but you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
There, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's kind of along the same lines of what she was talking about. What I'm just struggling to figure out is, because we're doing our Facebook event right now, and I've actually had a lot of people ask questions, and I've been really pleased with the response. But they're like, they ask questions, and I give them the information, but then I'm not really sure. I mean, after that, you know, what kind of the best approach is, you know, because I even think about myself. I mean, Amy told me about Juice Plus, I don't know, probably 6 months before I did it. And I knew the night that she told me about it, I wanted to do it, but it was just, you know, a period of time of making decisions to do it. So just trying to help people along with that quicker, but not be too aggressive, I guess, is the struggle that I'm kind of having right now, trying to figure it out.
So I always put it back on me, like, thank you so much for getting on this event. I really appreciate it. Listen, I don't want to drop the ball on you. I know you had asked some really good questions, and I'm not really sure where you're at as far as interest in getting started or not. So let me know what you need, what kind of information you need, so that I can help you determine if this is the right fit.
Okay.
I don't want to drop the ball. You know, like, I want to be a good rep. I want to take care of you. That way it doesn't sound like I'm really hounding you for this.
Right.
You know, like,
right.
You're just trying to be a professional.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good question. Anybody else have a question for Christie? No? Okay, well, Christie, I just thank you so much. And I really, really appreciate it. I know everybody on here and everybody who's going to watch this, seriously, this was amazing. And it's so awesome to hear it from you, and, you know, to have you share with us. So we really appreciate it. If everybody, actually, I'm going to unmute people. If you want to say anything, if you want to, thank her, and then we will let her go. And I just a couple of things that I'm going to share with you all, just things that we have going on. But if you guys just want to tell Christy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you, Christy. Good luck. If you need anything, I would be happy to help any of you guys. So, one team in mission. All right.
And we will all see you in St. Louis.
You bet, yeah. I'll see you. I can't wait. And I hope to see all of you guys there too. Good night.
Awesome. Thank you. Good night. Okay. So that's awesome. I hope you guys feel the same way. I mean, it's great to hear it from other people. And we do have this recorded, so you can share. I'm going to